A major highlight in any game is when you come face to face with one of the biggest bastards around, whether that be giant foe, ally, or just straight up set piece. And the bigger they are, the more likely they are to burst your eardrums. You can't deny it's a truly captivating moment when something stomps in that can only be described as how do you say this word? I give up. There's a fine art to making a specimen one can describe as big. There's more to it than just being the tallest on the team, and today I would like to share my picks for the top 10 video game monsters I would be friends with. Little is known about the Warden other than what you can observe with your own eyes. This big brute lies dormant in the deepest, darkest caves known to Minecraft, and has the ability to absolutely obliterate anyone or anything that enters its domain. Because of the complete absence of light in the Warden's natural environment, it evolved to be completely blind, so it must rely on its sense of hearing and smell to navigate its caverns and hunt trespassers. So why would I want to be friends with a Warden? First off, just having this absolute brick of a being as a companion would already be a huge win. Like, you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want, and like, who's gonna stop you when you're standing next to a 10'3" giant, according to this guy? Dude packs a punch, whether it be clubbing you with its arms the length of boat oars, or by its laser. Yeah, laser. The Warden also owns a castle in a cave, which, I mean, I like castles, and this is where I film these voiceovers, so that's a huge win for me. I've listed nothing but positives, so you might be wondering why the Warden ranked only 10 on my list. Well, one of the ways the Warden navigates, as I said before, is by sniffing. It sniffs its surroundings, and yeah, that's kind of weird, so... Right, I should think of, like, a really good bit to introduce this next guy. The bit was so bad, I'm cutting it out of the video. Long story short, it's a big bird. Number 9 is this bird from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Not only would this bird be a useful companion because of how big it is, and because it has the perk of flight, it's also naturally just kind of friendly, which would make it extremely easy to gain as a companion. Just feed it a treat or something, I don't know. There's not much I feel I need to say to prove this would be a good friend. It's a solid pick overall. I mean, it lives in a giant tree, which is badass, and it looks like a big goose. And I mean, I like geese. Pineapple here now. This feels a bit wrong to put on this list because all the fauna in No Man's Sky is randomly generated, but I mean, it's a pineapple. You can ride it, feed it, it dances, it did a backflip, which is, I mean, fucking awesome. And I also feel like it becomes more rare because it's randomly generated, so its status raises because of such. This is where I found one, so I mean, if you feel like traveling through the infinite cosmos in an attempt to find one for yourself, you can, I guess.
Huh? Huh?
The troll from Lego Harry Potter is, I'm gonna be honest, I have only a few jot notes to work with for each monster on my list, and I didn't write anything for this one. I liked the part in the movie when that one guy shouts, "In the danger!" Jesus. Oh, shit, there he is. The Fallout series has many cool monsters that could have easily made this list, but if I were to befriend only one, I would have to go with the giant crab. These colossal crustaceans came to be after regular old crabs suffered a mutation which caused them to grow to tremendous sizes, and because hermit crabs could no longer fit into their shells, and there was a whole ton of wreckage left by the now heavily diminished human population, there was a whole new arsenal of metal boxes to inhabit. And so what better companion could you choose for an apocalypse than an armored beast that you can build a house on? Next on my list is quite self-explanatory and needs no introduction. Bowser. Y'all know him. Some people love him. like, a lot, to like a scary degree. He's a very unhateable character, and just in terms of what I'm looking for in a monster of his type, Bowser is pretty much just a better warden for me. He's big, intimidating, can easily destroy you up close and at range. There was also that incident when he got, like, extra big, like, real big, like, ready to bare-knuckle brawl the Statue of Liberty big. And in terms of castles, he's had multiple. Every time Mario topples his kingdom, he just makes another castle in a different location. Dude's fucking rich. I mean, he's gotta pay for the property, then the construction equipment, the labor, the taxes. I can't even fathom how expensive it would be to keep molten lava without it cooling. That would take some tech, and he does that how many times? Also, he's played by Jack Black. To put it into perspective here, after he lost in Mario 3D World in 2013, he needed, like, just barely shy of 4 years before he had a whole new kingdom in Mario Odyssey. This one's a no-brainer, but I feel like some points get deducted for losing to the same 41-year-old plumber the amount of times that he has, so that's why he's not first on my list, to be honest. Is my mic on? Shit, I just ruined this fucking footage. Next on my list is one I find to be very hard to dislike. This horse thing from Shadow of the Colossus it's just the perfect specimen. It's designed to look like a horse, but constantly has the same expression that chameleons have, where they look like you just took a shit in their Taco Bell, but they're too zoned out on codeine to care. In terms of the actual gameplay, this is definitely one of my least favorite fights in the game, as it's hard as bricks to climb this guy, but I mean, can you really blame the thing for trying to be as unkillable as possible? I would just relocate it to a field close by my house where it would just stand there all day every day, and I would just visit it to my heart's content. I mean, this is easily the most low-maintenance monster on this list to be friends with. This dude has no problems in life. Fields are its natural habitat anyways, and if you wanted it to step on someone, you needn't but ask. I see this great titan, and I know it's a friend.
We already beat them once, but no victory is certain.
The Brog is an amphibious monster from the Xenoblade series that can be located in a multitude of different climates depending on what subspecies it is. It is most common for them to be found in swamps and wet climates. Their sizes are known to vary quite the amount, like literally every enemy in this series, and some of them can sing, which is pretty cool. If I had to pick a friend Brog, I would want a Goliath Brog because they live in literal toxic sludge, and that's funny. The second place monster on my list is none other than Dodo Gamma from Monster Hunter World. Easily one of the most adored monsters in Monster Hunter World, Dodo Gamma is completely empty-headed. There is more intelligent thoughts in the rocks this fucker eats than its own head. And you might be thinking that it would gain some intelligence from eating something smarter than it, but it does end up regurgitating most of its meal anyways in self-defense. You can often find this wide warmonger standing around, getting bullied by other monsters, and sleeping in the floor. Even the developers had to pay homage to the fact that everybody likes this monster. The entire community jumped with joy when they added a special event quest where you can see giant ones. It's honestly worth going into that quest, marveling at the godly gluttons you are lucky to have been born in the same time period to witness, before leaving without ever fighting them. They even let you dress your pet pig as one of them, which is genuinely the best part about this game. Coming in at number 1, this monster is one I thought long and hard about. I mean, when you think of a top 10 list, you think of number 1 and then work back from there, replacing stuff as time goes on. And I considered monsters that were on this list and ones that didn't even make the list in the end, before I finally decided on Wormple. Where Wormple lacks in size, he makes up for in heart. He's a big guy in an even bigger guy's world. Sure, he has shit stats across the board and can only learn 4 moves maximum, but who doesn't love a good underdog story? This is the most of a friend on this list. I mean, the thing's always literally native to the first area in the games. It pretty much wants to find you. We truly do not deserve Wormple as a companion, but we've been blessed with it nonetheless, so we should accept our gift generously. Hey. It's me from the future. I have a glowing microphone or something. I don't know. And also I got a real green screen, but I don't know the first thing about lighting it, so it still looks awful. But I forgot to write an end to this video. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I feel as if monsters are an aspect of a game that's often overlooked when people talk about said game. Not 100% of the time, it's like how very few people who are casually into games will talk about the sound design in whatever game they're playing, even though whenever there's bad sound design, it's super noticeable. Monsters are quite the same. I mean, some can bring conflict to the game, some exist primarily to be blown up for resources, and even when a monster poses no threat and gives you nothing, they still add movement and atmosphere to an environment, so they have some purpose. I'm quite the lover of all things fictional creepy crawlies, enormous entities, and gargantuan god-eating ghouls, so I just wanted to make this video to quickly talk about and share some of my favorites. See you around. Unless I don't. Bye-bye.